Wait, why is it? What? This wasn't supposed to be like this. Oh, the style is for the lost setting. Indeed, was critical. I swear to God, what the f is happening? Okay, wait. I think I'll have to. Oh my fuck. The sub alert is on my face. Okay. The TTS is okay. Let me see if this is changing. This is changing. Yes, this is changing in the other scene. Okay. I don't have patience for this. Oh my fucking god. Okay. Dude, help me. Up. Ah! No. Use here. Then. Where's the hello? Hello? Hello, you will be here because no. Here. You barely appear anyways. Then the sub will be here. Then the TTS going to be. Dude, I can't see the TTS because it's not active. It will be here, it's okay. No. Okay, the TTS and the follow are the same place. God damn it. Follow it's going. Raid can be here. And the chat, same place. And I have to redo the settings of this one. Dude, I don't know, there's some things on OBS that I don't understand. Widgets. I need to create another group for this to be like this. Dude, I was setting this before the stream. Now I need to set everything again. Like, oh my god. Oh, okay, bro. Now it's... Oh. Now it's gone in the other one. Okay. Okay. Very nice to start very scuffed stream, I think. Mm. Dude, I don't know where anything is because it's not active. Well, I'll leave it like this. I just need to copy everything. Control C, Control V. My fucking god. Oh my god. This is crazy. You don't see what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing lots of things scuffed. And looks fairly the same. Hello, you're going to stay here. TTS here. Let me test it. TTS. SSS Sada. Yes. Oh, it's gone again. Okay. TTS. Your mom. Okay. Your mom. Your mom. guys? Did I get to have the chat like in front of Kafka? Nah, it's going to be here. Here's a good place. Thank you, Nightbots. Thank you for helping. Now, the right one, can see their follows here. It is alright. Sup? Is it my face? Okay. Can stay there. Hello can go a bit like here. Okay, right now everything looks fucking weird. uh, well, it's okay. I'll leave it for now like this. So I have some things to start talking about. I have like 5 things to speak, like news and all. But let me just open this. I need my sheets. Nom nom nom. Okay, now. First things first. This week we are going to have Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact updates. I think it's supposed to be this. It's supposed to be this week. I think it is. I could open the game to check. But I think it is. My name. Genshin dates. Dates. Oh, 2.8. Why did I put 2.8? No. It's 5.8. July 30. Oh fuck, it's in July 30 actually. Oh fuck. Then Wuthering Waves is when? Uh, I don't know what version we are in Wuthering Waves. June 12th? What? That's 2.4. July. Okay. At least Wuthering Waves it's going to be. No, it's this week, but it. What? 24. But that's a Thursday. They don't. They update it on Thursdays? Dude, no fucking way. Oh, you know what? I think I have to change my schedule. I may have to change my schedule for this week. It's always good to be like in the same day because the games usually played on Wednesdays, for me at least. Crazy. UTC plus 8. This UTC plus 8, not UTC only. Hello? I hate this. Banner. Okay. 24. What time? And I think we don't care about time. I don't care. It's on 24. Hmm. I don't know what to do then. If it's not Wednesday, it's Thursday, and I would have to play it or offline or on Friday. But I was planning on doing the trying stream test on Friday. Maybe I could do both, I guess. I'll see. And then on Wednesday I can still play the games. Not Genshin, because Genshin has like 0 content right now. But Wuthering Waves probably. I need to farm for follow. I'll be playing Wuthering Waves on Wednesday. Let's forget about Genshin Impact. Well, anyways, what I was going to talk about, like the updates in specific. I didn't watch the Wuthering Waves stream, I'll be very honest. I did watch like I went there in the stream, then I like scrolled it and all I saw was like Frolova things and lots of events. I didn't even see the reruns. I just ignored that. I didn't see it. I only saw it like on shorts. But yeah, it will have like lots of events, lots and lots of events, and Frolova, which I'm going to pull for her. I'm not guaranteed, but I'm guaranteed to get a character in some pools, and I have those pools. So let's pray that my streamer luck works. I guess. Oh my god! No, no, my ship. Oh, oh, oh. Okay. Um, let me drink. Then from Genshin, what do we get? You know, we finally got a time skip for quests. You know? Like, that's crazy. They're just, I think they're just kidding with our faces. They're just like playing with us. These bros are like, they just don't care anymore. Like, seriously, I got fucking. Uh, I don't even know anymore, dude, how to feel about this. It's crazy. Like, everyone's asking for a skip button for the quests. And then they're like, nah, let's add a skip button for the time skips inside the quest. Like, literally, no one asked for that. And that function, it's just literally you click it, and like it pops up in the time skip screen with the time you need, instead of just skipping like it's just stupid. It's useless. Who asked for that? It's just what? And they call it like how do they call it? It's like quality of life kind of thing. It was just useless. Not quality of life. It's just to add something. I don't know. Um, what do we also get? Oh, the new part of Natlan, new extension of Natlan, which is like the vacation kind of island or something. It's going to be like permanent. It's a good thing that we get a new map permanently, but to be honest, I would like to actually get the older maps, like the Archipelago, uh, Golden Apple, and the Golden Apple Archipelago. Oh my god, that one was my favorite, to be honest. My favorite point 8 was the 2.8. It's the best until now. Like the other ones are just they are okay. They were okay, you know. I really liked the Fontaine one was cool. Like you could I think it's the font. No, that was okay. The one I'm recalling is the summer one where you had those like boats and you could like pass through the. I don't even know what that is to be honest. I can explain it. I think it was on 3.8, 4.8. I don't know. Um, but from all maps that could be permanent, I wish I could go back to the archipelago. But yeah, at least it's going to be permanent, and I will. I don't need to like rush the things to explore. It will be okay. But the update's going to happen on a day I'm not home. Sadly, so I'm going to play it on my phone away from home. It's going to be sad. But at least it's not the version that I'm going to pull, so it's okay. I'm waiting for Colombina. But actually, I'm very excited for the character that appeared in the end of the stream. Hmm. I'll find her. What's her name again? Her name is Loma. Um, not you. You. Here. So this girl, she appeared in the final part of the stream. And she's fucking pretty, like fucking mommy, what the I was like when she appeared, I was like, oh my god. Like if I was to react it on stream, my reaction would be literally this. Not like this, like worse, like my mouth couldn't like it's like oh no oh like yeah, that would be my reaction like oh my god, mommy. Sorry, mommy. She's damn pretty, bro. Like I'm saving for Colombina and then bros come to me with this. Why? Why? No one asked for this. Let me save for my Colombina, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, so we got uh this and lore things and Bennett kinda being a huge part in the lore. Not huge, but like his constellation is literally in a part of the of Natlan, and it's like oh my god, and Natlan is not over yet. Like I think there's more parts to come in 6 points something versions. Also, there's another thing I was going to talk about. There's people saying that she is similar to Shaska. This is Shaska, and people are comparing their both and saying that they literally look the same. Tell me where in the motherfucker hell this is the same. Dude, I need to find that tweet. Um, I don't know. I don't. I might have not saved it. Uh, Like, where, what? I can't see any similarities. And people say Chaska's like ugly, and they're comparing her with a literal mommy. Tell me where in the actual hell this is the same. I don't get it. People on Twitter are just fucking stupid. That's my verdict after years using Twitter. Sometimes I scroll down, but the only reason I came back was for VTubing, to find people there that also are VTubers and I could be friend with. It's the only reason I'm on there. But sometimes I go and scroll and see these stupidities. I don't even know why, like, uh, the Genshin fandom still appears on my timeline, to be honest. I don't think I will find it, because it was only one tweeted probably, because there's no one to agree with this, like, come on. Look the same. She reminds me of Shaska. Where? Where? Oh, of course, it's had to be on TikTok. What? You literally just shaped it. You literally just shaped it to look like. What? 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 Dude, what? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I still don't understand, dude. What the f- People are colorblind, I guess. That might. I think it's the only explanation. Like, oh my god, it's impossible not. Anyways, so coming back to the WuWa and Genshin updates, people are comparing the games a lot. And I saw a video. I think about it. I don't remember. I just attached it. Why not? The unfair comparisons. Yeah, let's watch it. We ignore this. Oh, what? What? Hello? Here goes. If I do this, it's okay. I think it is. Let me just take off the song. Thank you, Billy, for your effort.
WuWa, a comparison that has
Let me just adjust this.
been happening since Wuthering Genshin versus WuWa, a comparison that has been happening since Wuthering Waves came out. And today, since I played both games and I do have so many hours on them, I will give you a fair.
I also do play both, just not at the same time. Like, I don't play those, like, I played when I remembered. Because I've been playing a lot of Infinity Nikki and Umamuzume, so, and Zenless Zone Zero too. So I didn't actually get the time to play both, but I do play both. I couldn't play it from the, I mean, Wuthering Waves, I couldn't play it from the beginning, but I did create my account when the game released. I just couldn't play it because my PC was trash back then, and yeah. Then I found like a cloud application for my phone, and then I could play a bit. So I can say I have at least some months of playing.
comparison between them with some points that people are comparing that are actually unfair, especially that the answer cannot
At Genshin I play since 2021. So I could speak more for Genshin than for WuWa because I'm very low level on WuWa.
not be the same for everybody, and that's why I'm gonna be comparing so many different elements with the games to see which game is better than the other in that one element, so we can conclude in the end. And so I think we should start with the most important thing with both games, which is the gameplay. Now the way
The gameplay, dude. The gameplay is so different from, like, oh my god.
games are played is actually
That's why
a
the
little
comparison
different,
is stupid.
and for some people it could be actually unfair to compare them both, but we can spot the similarities because if we look at Genshin, the gameplay or the core gameplay is creating a team of 4 characters that has a really good strategic rotation and can create good reactions with the element system that has mostly 1 or sometimes 2 rotations to do the most amount of damage. Every character has an ability, every character has an ultimate, and of course you have the ability to dodge. But characters can really change the way you play the game, especially if you have a very powerful shielder like Zhongli, which can make you not do so many dodges on most enemies. But of course there are so many enemies that will probably change that strategy and make a shielder not useful. On the other hand, with Wuthering Waves, you create a team of 3 that is, instead of playing around elemental systems, is
Dude, I think Genshin is more elemental reactions based, and Wuthering Waves
mainly
it's
playing around
like-
the intro and outro skills and the buffs that every character gives to the main DPS, so that you
Wuthering Waves has like lots of mechanics, like the dodge one. I think it's way different from Genshin.
can make a rotation where you utilize your
doesn't
conservative
mean it's
energy
better.
and abilities with every character so that you can buff the main DPS. But after using that,
I think it just means like that they are different games. So why would they have like similar combat, you know?
we also have the fact that there is an important thing in Wuthering Waves, which is parrying and perfect dodging. Yes, you can
Yeah.
dodge like in Genshin, but you can perfect dodge, which gives you another type of attack, but also is so rewarding because it gives you more concerta energy. But the gameplay also is now utilizing the elemental system even more by using the Spectrofrazzle, the arrow erosion and all that. And overall, the Wuthering Waves combat will probably be a little harder, especially that you will be needing a good reaction time where you have to understand the bosses and all that. And with Genshin, probably the hardest thing and the most important thing will be how you build the team, because that's more important in Genshin than probably Wuthering Waves. Now, after saying all that, let us see. The Wuthering Waves combat is faster and it has way more mobility than the Genshin Impact one. It also got more elements to it. But the reason why you cannot just objectively say that Genshin Impact has worse combat like a lot of people are saying is because the elemental system and the reactions are executed in a way that makes the gameplay fun for different reasons. It's very fun to do that strategy of creating a good combo between characters by using the elements. And the fact that changing your build a little bit for some characters can change their teams a lot. For example, let's take the Rider Shogun, where you can use her either as an Electro Charge.
Okay, okay, dude. Thank you. What the fuck? No, I don't care. I don't care. Leave me alone.
Desafio convencional e saboreia o excepcional com uma mistura
No.
única de Royal Bliss.
Character, or change her build completely for the Hyperbloom teams. And I'm one of the people that does have so much fun with that reaction system, and I could say that the reasons or the way I enjoy the Wuthering Waves
I enjoy lots of like in Genshin. I like a lot the reactions because they have really cool visual effects and the numbers get huge, and
gameplay
that's
is different than the way I enjoy
satisfying.
the Genshin Impact gameplay. Now, if you want to get personal and say which one I do prefer the Wuthering Waves gameplay, because I do like the faster paced gameplay. I do like the fact that
That's why that's why I don't like Claymore on Genshin. It's too slow. And I like the faster gameplay. I like the faster. That's why I like a lot Catalysts and Spears. like the best. I also do. I like a lot that like the visual
You
effects
can parry
on Wuthering
and
Waves
use
are
more of your
amazing.
skill with the bosses, because sometimes for me the
And it
reaction
is
system
faster
will get
and
old,
very
especially when you
satisfying
use the
too.
same teams. And when
But I think it's not like it doesn't have the
you
same
talk about
impact, you know?
the characters and everything like that, it's kind of that the game gets easier and it's too much at some point. So for me, I do prefer the Wuthering Waves gameplay, but I had to emphasize on the point of the reaction system just to be fair. It is also really satisfying to see that your character, that is probably a pyro character, does 50,000 damage, but when they make a melt reaction, they
Yeah.
do 100,000.
Yeah.
It's really satisfying
It
when you do
is.
that and amplify your damage so much in a crazy way with some of those reactions. Now, since we're still in the gameplay, let us talk about these characters and kits and meta. So the character design is
characters is-
subjective. You can like the Wuthering Waves characters more, you can like the Genshin Impact more, but
Dude, to be honest, I'm not really I haven't really been seeing like lore character for any games. I don't know pretty much of the lore. Like the lore is just yeah, it exists. But what makes me like the characters, it's the way they first present themselves, the way they get presented, and their design. Mainly their design. So I think for me, it's really hard to choose between Genshin or Wuthering Waves in terms of characters because it's different. It's different games, different characters, different types of presenting them to the public. So I can't like choose, you know?
for me, there's some Genshin Impact characters that I like more than Wuthering Waves, and there are some Wuthering Waves characters that are better than Genshin Impact. The only thing that is not subjective here is probably with the expressions of the faces of the characters in Wuthering Waves between both games. That's where Wuthering Waves is objectively better. But when you check with the characters and not only the design that will make you attached to a character, probably the lore of that character. And I will talk about story and lore in a little bit, but I do think that side characters with Genshin Impact, most of them do have better lore or better backstory than side characters in Wuthering Waves, and some big problems with them is that a character like Charo or a character
I don't really care about the backstory or how much they appear in the story, in the main story, because I haven't really been paying attention that much, and it's something I'm going to do. I think on stream, I'm going to watch some videos about the lore, telling me the lore because I haven't really been paying attention to it. But for now, what I look for in a character, like, I think it's their personality and design. So most likely that.
like
I-
Dungeon still don't have a story, despite being really loved by the community in 1.0. But going with the characters kits and the meta and power creep and all that, I do think that if we start with power creep, I think that both games are really close in this. I think that Genshin and Wuthering
Power creep?
Waves are
Hello?
the best two games that do that with meta, where they, if they want to power creep or make a character a little
I think on Genshin it's really hard to find power creep. You find it on Honkai Star Rail, but Genshin, it's really hard to. I don't know about Wuthering Waves. I don't know how it works on Wuthering Waves because I haven't really been on the meta. I'm not really a meta player, so. But for me, if the character is good or not, the kit, it doesn't matter. All I want to see is their animations, the designs, their personality, their voice.
a
It
bit
all-
stronger, they don't just make the older characters don't
changes for
work,
me.
which is a problem with Honkai Star Rail or a lot of other gachas. And I think that Genshin and Wuthering Waves both are doing a good job here. But what I want to talk about in detail is the kits of every character. Now here is where I have a problem sometimes with Wuthering Waves, because they sometimes make a kit of a character that is a little bit complex and so good, especially in terms of gameplay. Like for me, this does surpass the Genshin way of making characters, and especially when they try to make a new character, they do know how to make a newer character pretty different than older characters and have something.
Dude,
Sinto a
no,
tua falta, mas pede atleta. Nem pensa.
no.
New and also have so
the
much
fuck?
depth to their kits. But I do think that the problem with
This
that
Portuguese
is that
ads.
there is something that Kuro Games wasn't really aware of at the start, and I think that they weren't expecting to do that, is that every character is either exclusively heavy attack oriented or resonance liberation oriented or resonance skill oriented, which is kinda kills the difference between all of those. Like, what's the point of having resonance liberation damage and resonance skill damage when you know that some characters are just gonna use one of those? You cannot just build a character around just skill damage to maximize their damage of their skill, or just resonance liberation damage to see a big number with their ultimate, and probably create so many different strategies.
To be honest, from what I've been playing with Ring Waves, I even got like my boyfriend's sister to play for me because I couldn't play. But from what I've been playing since I got my new PC, I don't really care for numbers or for like the technical things. For me, it doesn't really change much. Even on Genshin, I don't really care about technical things. I see lots of videos of people saying that your character needs this, your character needs that, but like, I don't care. I just want to play the game and have fun. With the combat, like with the animations. I like to see big numbers, but like, I don't go that much into that. I don't go that so deep into that. I'll just build the characters, with things people recommend, but if I don't have it, I don't have it. I will farm if I want. I feel like going to farm, but yeah, I don't really, it doesn't really
Strategies
change
with
for me.
characters, but I see why they didn't do that, because it would probably make
In terms
characters
of
so much
characters,
harder
for
to
me,
balance. But this doesn't deny the fact that this
I
is kind of
can change
pointless
one again.
now, and that they are just, you know, that the new character will use only one way of doing damage. And you can see that it's kind of
Just-
different with
Each character, doesn't matter the game, are unique. You know? Like, how am I supposed to choose a game when they have like loads of characters, of different characters? You know? How am I supposed to choose, dude? I can't.
1.0 characters. Some of them do use different ways of scaling their damage, and I didn't have a
Every
problem
character
if it
is
was
different.
with
And like, if I was to choose a game, like from all gachas, the only reason I would choose Honkai Star Rail would be because of Kafka, you know? But not because of the other characters, because of Kafka only, you know? Like, if I like Kafka, why am I playing the other games, you know? Why do I like the other ones? Why do I like the other characters too? You know? Every character is different. And I chose Kafka because I do like her a lot. And not because of the game, you know? Mainly because I've been actually kind of hating, not exactly hating, but I've been liking a bit of Honkai Star Rail because of the huge power creep. Like, the power creep there is crazy. I think it's the worst game that I've been seeing, like, with power creep. I'm not even like that meta deep, you know. I'm not that fucking meta huge player. But I noticed that a lot because I pull for the characters I like and I want to play them. But if I want to pass through the contents in the game, like the end games, just so I can get cheats to pull for characters I want, I will probably need characters that are currently in the banner, and it's just stupid. Like, I play gacha games because I like the characters. You know, I want to play them, not play the character that's right now the strongest.
a little bit of few
Doesn't
characters,
make
but it's
difference for
happening
me.
with almost every character, and I was like, what's the point of using my resonance liberation to do problem
Yeah, let's skip
limited?
this
How
part.
they explain the kids some of the way
This
people
is the kids
but
part, and I don't really.
Entregas rápidas e
I don't really.
grátis. O melhor entretenimento só com o Prime por
Here,
apenas 4
I
euros
want to
e
see the
99
rest
por
of the
mês.
video. Oh my fucking god! Portugal, quit giving me ads.
and it will be explained. I really like that. And when we move to Genshin Impact, by explaining kits, I would say that Genshin Impact is still better here. But now Wuthering Waves is close, but Genshin can make a really complex kit for a character and have a very good explanation for it. And of course, you can have characters that are HP oriented or attack oriented or everything like that. So the reason why I complained about it in WuWa, because it
To be honest, I don't know how to farm on Wuthering Waves. I don't know how to get like good tacit discords or whatever the characters do need. So for me, at the moment, Genshin is the easiest one to farm, but the hardest to get good things.
it was created like that because it had the potential but didn't use it, you know? And you can find that Genshin does have more variety, especially because of the elemental system and using the elemental mastery. As I said before, some characters can change their build by using elemental mastery or using the build with attack and great damage and things like that. So this is one of those that it's unfair to just say that this is objectively better. No, I just give you the good and bad side in every game and you can choose accordingly. Now let us talk about the world. Again, of course, I'm not gonna talk a lot about how the environment looks because that depends on you. I do think that both games are visually so beautiful. The only thing that you can say that Wuthering Waves is better than Genshin N is probably that the Genshin graphics are a little dated compared to the Wuthering Waves graphics because, of course, Wuthering Waves is newer, but we cannot deny the fact that Wuthering Waves is actually trying to make the graphics better with every update, especially with the latest update. They created the Ultra Setting update. They made the graphics even better with the newer version. But for Genshin Impact, they weren't really making the graphics better. They were working on the same engine, which has a good and a bad side, and we will immediately talk about that good.
To be honest, I think most of the games, most of them, should still be working with the same engine that Genshin uses because it's lighter. Simply because of that, like, I couldn't play this game. I couldn't play Wuthering Waves because my PC was trash, but I could still play Genshin Impact in there, and that's like crazy. Even Zenless, that was a bit laggy for me. I could play, you know. Oyo does just so everyone can play it, but when a gacha game starts using like Unreal Engine fucking 5 or something, it just limits the players, you know?
And bad side. So, of course, the bad
That's
side
what I
is
don't
that
like.
the graphics look a
Like,
little
I
bit
like a lot the graphics of Wuthering Waves. I like it a lot. It looks so cool, so pretty. Like, every part of the world looks so amazing. But, like, do gacha games need that? Like, for example, a game that just exploded, Umamusume, it doesn't even have a world. And it's a gacha game, and it's fucking huge. And literally anyone can play it. With any device, because it doesn't have like a huge graphics thing. You know? A gacha game to succeed doesn't need, like, Unreal Engine shit.
bit worse than Genshin
That's
Impact,
what made
but
me kinda sad about Wuthering Waves.
the good side is
start.
that the optimization for Genshin Impact is way better than the Wuthering Waves optimization. Wuthering Waves has a big problem with optimizing the game. I made a video that is talking about this in detail. Person A has a problem with the graphics in that certain version, and person B has the same hardware but doesn't have a problem, so he calls them a liar. In the next version, person A doesn't have a problem anymore with performance, but person B does now have the problem. And with the fact that Wuthering Waves is trying to make the game more appealing with every new update, where Genshin tries to make the game more appealing by creating more different environments that look good, but Wuthering Waves tries to make new different environments but also try to make the graphics better, which, as I said, is good and bad at the same time. It's good to make the graphics better, but they have to do so much work with optimization because it's so hard to optimize the game, especially that the game is on Unreal Engine, so they have a harder road with this. But since we're still talking about the world, let us
I think for crew to choose Unreal Engine, for me at least, it was a mistake. I started hating on Unreal Engine because of Wuthering Waves. Being honest, like, I love good graphics, I love that, but if my PC doesn't like it, I don't like it either, you know? Like, let me play the game.
go and talk about
Just
the
let me play it.
open world experience and the
I had the same problem with Infinity Nikki, by the way. But Infinity Nikki was kind of made to look good because it's a dressing, it's a dress-up game. But, well, since Infinity Nikki has that, kind of type of game, I can, like, I can accept it. But for a gacha game, open world, just like Wuthering Waves or gacha, or Genshin Impact, you know, there's no need for that.
exploration.
Also, NTE is also going to have it, and most of the gacha games that are coming are probably going to get it too. That's just like, you lose players because of that, you know. When you build your gacha game with something like that, you lose players because not everyone has the money to get a huge PC, you know. Also, I think I will need to get something for my PC just so I can play NT. Like, I need at least more 16 GB RAM. Like, I think all the games in the game industry are getting like this. But because everyone just thinks about money, you know? Like, as hard as your game goes, like, as hard as your graphics goes in your game, more expensive your PC will be. And that just disappoints everyone that likes games.
So, if we start
And I don't
with
think
Genshin Impact,
the game industry doesn't understand it.
the open world experience
just want
and
money,
the
dude.
exploration. So,
Literally
if we
just
start
that.
with Genshin Impact gives you so many ways.
Like, there's people that play games for love because they love playing games, but the game industry is just pulling everything, just screwing up literally everything because they want money.
Of exploring the game, especially with every different region. Every region will give you different ways to explore, different gadgets, has different puzzles. Of course, you have to collect chests for the currency.
Bro,
Red Bull dá-te asas.
no. No.
These characters are important in the exploration, so of course you can use some characters so that you can make it easier. You can climb almost everything in the game. Sometimes you would have some random interactions with NPC that can make you do that one puzzle, or you would have a random world quest that if you do, you will
Since I started playing, I am I got in love with the world of Genshin Impact. Simply because it's like a huge world you can explore for free, you know? And I think it's very nice to be in Teyvat, like in general. Teyvat, like the whole Teyvat just looks amazing. Um, I do like it a lot. um, I like the aesthetic that Genshin uses for the world. I think it's very like it's the face of the game, you know. If they changed it to Unreal Engine or something, it wouldn't look like Genshin anymore. Like it's something I've been following since 2021, you know. Like it would just disappoint me a lot if they did it. But not saying that I don't like the world of Wuthering Waves, because it's pretty. But like I said, it's expensive.
Open a new place in
So
the world and you can explore it.
and I didn't get the same like I didn't get to look at Wuthering Waves the same way I looked the first time to Genshin. Because like Genshin was my first ever gacha open world game. And that was like back that time it was like just amazing. I was really happy I found a game I was enjoying and that I also could play myself because I used to just watch gameplays of anything. But I started playing Wuthering Waves simply because I wanted to find more games like Genshin. You know, like it just doesn't feel the same.
The open world experience with Genshin Impact is a really good, solid open world experience for a gacha game, and for so long it was the best. But here is where I will probably say that Wuthering Waves really is just better in almost every single thing here. I said almost because there's some little things that is still not better in Wuthering, but almost everything in the open world experience, and especially
Oh
exploring.
yeah, probably the exploration. Because you can use exploration features if on Genshin. If first you are on Netplan, and second you have certain characters, and in Wuthering Waves you have lots of ways to explore it easily. You get to like you can run in walls, you know, those things you can't do in Genshin, but you could if you have like for example Shalonen, and Shalonen is a 5-star unit, and you need to pay for it, you know. That's a really bad part. I agree. I agree with that.
Is better in
In
Wuthering
terms of
Waves, because
visuals, I
what I just
already
said for Genshin
said my
Impact
opinion.
does exist in Wuthering Waves, but is better with more quality of life changes, faster, easier,
Yeah,
and probably I would say
the quality
less
of life on
annoying
Genshin
and
has
less
been kind
relying
of
on the characters.
shitty.
Especially with 2.0, with when we saw in Renacita, we
They
can
also they also added on the next patch for Genshin, when you go to explore and you need like certain items for your character to upgrade them. You go on the item, you go on collect, and then it appears on your map in like little circles. And I thought they were going to optimize it, and you can go on those places, and it appears in the map the specific parts where the items you need are. But they actually just added their a list of the characters that can show it to you, which makes me need characters. And like for some regions like Liyue, you have lots of 4-star characters that you can use to get the items. Um, but in Natlan, you don't have you barely have 4-star characters, and the 4-star characters you have, they don't have the passive to exploration, which means you can't use 3 characters to find the items you need. You need to use like, for example, I think there's an item. No, there's. I think in niche does have a exploration passive, and you can find the items from Netland, but Genshin is also 5-star unit. You know. I think it started a bit on Fontaine too, because you barely have. I think the only character on Fontaine that has that is Linny, and he's also a 5-star. Yeah,
literally
fucking
fly
stupid.
and do whatever we want and explore in every way
Life
we want.
quality on
And
Genshin is just
with
getting
the
worse and worse.
world and how they designed it,
They
they
promised
designed it in
to
a
get
good
us
way
better
that
things
supports flying. Flight
from now on,
system is a really good system in this
just
game. It
fail
really
again.
changed the game a lot. It made the exploration way better, and the way they make their new regions and their new zones is improving a lot, and it's actually kind of a step up with every open world gacha
I think
now,
yes,
and even
that's
in
undeniable.
open world games in
In
general.
terms of exploration, Wuthering Waves is better.
Especially when you see the problem with the
have to
fact
agree.
that yes, you can climb anything in Genshin Impact, but in WuWa you can climb and run in the wall. That's without talking about the fact that you can fly, you know? So the mobility
Yeah.
with the gameplay is helping the Wuthering Waves just utilize better open world experience.
I mean,
now,
I think right now you can fly on Wuthering Waves only on Rena City. I don't think they added in other regions. But still, you can fly in Wuthering Waves.
probably the only
Like,
thing that Genshin
how-
does have a little better for now is that a lot of the puzzles in Genshin Impact that they're probably a little harder, but I think they are made a little bit better than what we have in Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves does have some cool puzzles, by the way. That doesn't mean that the puzzles in WuWa are bad. Especially, I do like that puzzle with Renasira of the colors and things like that. But I do think that Genshin Impact does have better puzzles than Wuthering Waves, and that's probably the one point that
in terms of puzzles, I just explored Wuthering Waves sometimes. And I think there's actually really cool puzzles because they add different mechanics, like the ones you can grab items like with gravity kind of shit. And I think you barely see things like that on Genshin. Like Genshin puzzles are kind of simple, are way more simpler. But I like both, to be honest. Both are fun. I like both. I don't think one of them better than the other. I think they're both are really cool.
Genshin is better still with.
Okay. YouTube, please stop the ads. These are stupid.
Porquê que se chamam interruptores?
Why does
Não
everyone want
interrompem
money
nada.
nowadays?
Claro que interrompem. Interrompem a escuridão.
Like, can't you already just pay your rent?
rotina.
Isn't that enough for you?
Interruptores ativam toda a energia
God
que nos
damn
faz
it.
avançar. Repsol. Com toda
And
a
it doesn't let me
energia.
skip it.
the open world experience and the exploration. But the thing is, this is probably not objective because some people do not like puzzles and they do want simpler puzzles. But even when we say simpler, some of them are simple in Genshin Impact, but they are more fun, you know? Now let's move on to storytelling and lore. I will try to...
I will skip this part because I can't really speak on it. I skip both. Mainly because I couldn't play the game, so... I mean, Wuthering Waves. I don't really know about the Wuthering Waves lore. Crash the system.
The lore is way better. Now let us move on to the gacha system. Now we do not have to talk a lot about the gacha system because it is easy to tell which one is better. Wuthering Waves saw the gacha system of Genshin Impact and they just said, okay, let us make it more forgiving. With instead of having a 90 pity, you have an 80 pity, and especially with the weapon banner, this is what makes it way better, is that you have a weapon banner that has no 50-50. And I do think that almost most games should remove 50-50 in every single banner, and that's what some of the newer games are doing, like Do a Night Abyss. WuWa also differentiates the standard banner, so we have a standard banner for characters and a standard banner for weapons.
Why?
Also, the
Sorry,
weapons, you still can choose them. So of course the Wuthering Waves gacha system is better, but especially that you also can buy dupes from the shop for characters so that you can get a C2 character, for example, easier and probably cheaper for whales. But also, WuWa does also give more polls to the players than Genshin Impact. It's just
That's
an easy
true.
W
That's
for
true. Unfortunately, I can agree with that. Yeah. Genshin only gives you like a good a good quantity of primogems in versions like 5.8. Because you get a new map and you can explore, and so you get a little bit more. But usually in normal versions you get only like 50 pulls, and that's not enough to get one character like limited. 50-50 or not, that's not enough. Unless you're very lucky and get it early, but yeah. Sometimes it doesn't even guarantee you a 4-star. Like for example, you are pulling for a banner that has a new 4-star character. Sometimes if you are not lucky enough, you even with 50 pulls you don't get it. Like it happened to me with Dahlia. Like I gave more than 100 pulls. Like I pulled a lot for Skirk. And I only got 2 of them. It was crazy. So yeah. And I think I got very lucky on Wuthering Waves, to be honest. I was barely playing, right? Then there was like Cantarella's banner, I guess. And I got Cantarella like a lot of 50-50. Then in 6 more pulls I got Cantarella. It was crazy. And I was barely playing the game. I made the pulls on mobile. You know, like, and also the non-existent 50-50 on the weapon banner. I think most of the gadgets should have that
Ways here.
The
for the
only thing
weapons.
that we might
Because a weapon, I don't think a weapon does cost the same as a character, you know. As much as the character can, the weapon can make your character stronger, I don't think it has the same value as a character. Because a character has like a whole like story, has a whole design, it's literally a fucking character, okay? You can't compare it with a weapon.
talk about is the existence of 4 stars. Problem is they're not making more 4 stars in the game that are good, and in Genshin you could have a full roster of 4 stars that can do a really decent damage or sometimes clear some endgame content. Now the thing with WuWa, characters like Danjin are very powerful, characters like Sanhua, as I said, are broken, but we don't have so many. They're not making as much 4 stars.
Yeah.
And of course there's the daily commissions and the daily things that you can do. I do think that Genshin, after updating their dailies like almost a year ago now,
Thing is, if you compare, because every version gets a sheet of the how much pulls you get from each version. Every game does get it, and if you compare a game to another in terms of numbers, it's crazy. Like per patch on Wuthering Waves, you've been getting like 90 pulls for free to play. Speaking of free to play, and Genshin gives you like 50, 56 and like 20 or 30 in the first half.
they
I'm back. My dad came here. What was I saying? I forgot.
it now
Let's
do
just keep going.
probably have the best daily system in terms of farming what you need for characters, or using your resin every day or your wave plates. Wuthering Waves does have a way better experience, just especially for the fact that they still in Genshin Impact, if you want to farm something, you need to farm it in a specific day. This is so
Yeah, there's also that, dude. I think Genshin Impact is the only game that does that. Like, Gacha. You have specific days to farm specific items for your characters. And that's just like no other gacha does use that. Why the fuck? Like what's I still don't get, like, why does that exist even? Like, what's the purpose? You know?
stupid. I don't know how this exists.
It is stupid, yeah.
Porque contentar-te com o normal quando podes saborear o extraordinário. Desafia o convencional e saboreia o
please.
excepcional com uma mistura única de Royal
Dude,
Bliss.
why does Bro, let me skip this.
In Genshin, I don't know how this still exists in Genshin, but of course there's other reasons. Instead of making condensed resin, you can just go and do the domain and claim double the reward in Wuthering Waves. And that's why I will talk about the grind to build a character a little bit, which will probably have downsides with both games. As we said, for Genshin you will need to wait for a certain day to do something, which makes it instantly worse. That's the problem, because in every probably other thing it's better than Wuthering Waves, because Wuthering Waves has another problem, which is, of course, it's a gacha game, but resources for building your characters' echoes are still limited, even though they're giving more with events now, but they're still not as good as what Genshin gives. Now here's the thing, we can go with the fun side of farming echoes. This is another thing that you can do on a daily basis, or you can do sometimes. The fact that you can go with your friends or even alone and farm a boss echo in an unlimited amount of times.
I
And
don't
the
really
fact
know
that
how-
now we can easily choose the main stat for every echo, which of course will make building the character way easier. Now of course, to be fair with
I don't
Genshin,
know
you
how Wuthering Waves farm does work.
can now have a
Haven't
thing that
farmed.
makes you have two whole substats and choose them, which is really good, but it's not that easy to get it. But with including this point also goes for Wuthering Waves. Now, before we go to the end game system, let us go to the events. And for events, I would not be able to say that the Genshin or the Wuthering Waves events are just better in that thing, but you can say that some events in Wuthering Waves are better than Genshin, some events in Genshin are so good. The only problem that I could see with the Genshin events is that a lot of them got repetitive. The second problem, that's actually, I just remember another problem, is that some of those events give you exclusive things, exclusive weapons especially, and you cannot get them again. Where this problem doesn't exist with Wuthering Waves, and they make some events permanent, and they do a rerun of those weapons in some newer events so that you can get more. Now, for the newer events with Wuthering Waves, they just
Oh,
make
yeah.
some
Wuthering Waves has permanent events. The only permanent event you have on Genshin is that, you know that usually Genshin does rerun a event of music. You can play instruments. Thing is, you don't get anything. Like in the events when they were limited, when they were like reruns back then, you used to get some primo gems, but right now it is like permanent and it's there in Mondstadt. You can talk to the NPC and then you can play whatever you want, but you don't get anything. Like if you go to play there, it's just for fun. You don't really get like primo gems or something.
events that are
It's
just
the only permanent thing, and then Wuthering Waves has like some
boring,
permanent events.
okay? But then they make, in the same version or the exact next version, they make an event like this new TFT event with cards and things like that. That is
Oh yeah,
so
I played this event. It was kind of boring, to be honest. I was like, why the hell did they put TCG? Like, no one asked for the Wuthering Waves TCG. And then I didn't even complete the event because I was kind of like,
so good and fun. Oh, they make an event like the fishing event. They're getting more creative in Wuthering Waves, but I do remember that there's
nah,
a
I didn't
lot
like
of
this
good
one.
events in
This one
Genshin
was
Impact, especially
boring.
like that one event that you can customize a level, a way of a platformer level, and you can make it hard. And you know, I really enjoyed this with my friends back in the day. That was probably one of the best events that I ever played in any
Nah.
gacha, to be honest. And that's why I will not be giving the point to WuWa or Genshin. Maybe if we only talk about recent event, I would maybe give this to WuWa, but that's it. Now, before the quality of life changes, let's talk about the end game. The end
About events, I think Wuthering Waves is getting better than Genshin. Because Genshin is kind of rerunning everything, and then like the Lantern Rite event, for example, it's getting like over the years getting just same thing over and over. And it's kind of boring. And they lack of content. It's true, Genshin is lacking of content in general. Like, I don't like when you get to the second half of the version and you don't have literally anything to do. And you barely get events in general. And you don't have like permanent events. And now you're going to get like lots of multiplayer events, and none of them is going to be permanent. It just sucks, you know. But I think Wuthering Waves getting like lots of events. Like I get there and I'm lazy to do anything because there's lots of things there. Yeah, I've had quite a few friends quit playing Genshin over the last year. Yeah, yeah, like lots of people are quitting Genshin because it just lacks of content. It lacks of content. That's the huge problem, I think. I think if they fix that, it would bring some people back. Not everyone that stopped playing, but like most people. If they got more events, permanent things, mainly the multiplayers. But now the multiplayer events on Genshin, I heard I didn't play the last one, but I heard it's getting like hell because you need to be with certain people. You need certain elemental characters, and then people just troll and get you elements that are not needed, and then you lose the game, something like that. So I think if they fix it would fix like half of the problems the game has. Because more events would get more primogems, more people happy, you know?
end game with Genshin or
I think
WuWa.
from everything in this video, the worst part of Genshin is just events.
I will be
The lack of
immediately giving
content.
this to WuWa because the holograms are a really fun thing to do, and they're not mandatory or in a limited time.
I'm
So
not in the end game of Wuthering Waves, so I'm not going to talk about it. But I am quite sure still that in terms of this, Wuthering Waves does win. Because again, Genshin has no content. You have only 2 endgames because people complained. I mean, now you have 3. But none of them are, like, doable. I mean, the Spiral Abyss is easy. The theater, it's okay if you know how to play it. But the last endgame that they added, it's just trash. Like, you get those skins for the weapons if you, like, finish the content. But it's limited. It will reset after 40 days. You know? And you have to do the thing over again. It's just stupid. You know? And the excuse they gave us, because people were complaining on Genshin that we don't have end games. The excuse they gave us was that Genshin wasn't made for end games. It wasn't made for meta. It wasn't made for combat. It was made for explorer, and it was made like for us to explore Teyvat and the story, and yeah. And I get it. I get it. Like I see that's the vibe of the game. But if you don't want to add end games, if you don't want people to go that deep in meta, create other contents. Do more things, you know?
So for people who don't want to do holograms, they just can do them whenever they want. And with the Abyss system, I do think that is a step up than what we have in Genshin. It also gives more rewards. It is also more challenging and more fun. We also have another permanent endgame mode that you can do weekly, which is the Dreamscape event. It's really cool. It's fun. We have the Whimpering Waste, which is not my favorite, to be honest. But for Genshin, now we have something that they announced that will be in the game. But also, we have the Abyss and the theater event, and I do think, like I do not like Whimpering Waste. I do not like the theater event. The Abyss is okay, which makes you go to the other thing, which is the quality of life changes, and probably this made the reputation of Wuthering Waves way better, and that's why the point of the quality of life changes will also go immediately to Wuthering Waves, because the amount of changes that people ask for, that the game needs, are happening almost in every patch, and a lot. There's a lot of things that should have been added in Genshin Impact, but they're not added yet. And to be fair, there's some people that are just defending Genshin with this and saying that the spaghetti code and you cannot change the code. Those are a lot of people who don't have any idea what they're talking about. Okay, some things can't be changed with Genshin, but a lot of other things are way simpler than you think. I will not just talk about the quality of life changes, the things. I even talked about some in Genshin Impact, so I would not waste your time with it. And one of them that I talked about already in this video is the skip button, for example. It's changing how they tell the story, although they said they will. And so I try to be as fair as possible. I know that some of the latest points just went straight to Wuthering Waves, but with the first few points, I really tried to give both games a really fair chance. And I do think that really, Genshin, there's some undeserved hate for Genshin in some things. I think he did a fair them. But that's probably it. I do for now enjoy playing WuWa more, but at the same time I don't think that Genshin is a horrible game. There's some things that are horrible in it. Let me know what you think about the video. If you like this content, press the like button and subscribe.
Yeah, okay. I think that both games are different, but Genshin has been failing a lot. So, I don't know. I don't want to say that one is better than the other, but both games fail in their own ways, you know? But I don't think there's any other gacha game that's going to fail worse than Genshin, to be honest. Like, right now, nah, dude. Genshin has been failing a lot. I still like the game, though, because it was the game that bring me here, you know? To the games, and I still love a lot the game, but it fails a lot.